Hey guys, and welcome to the Amazon Reseller Network YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 11 quick-fire common mistakes that new sellers make when selling on the platform and how you can avoid them going forward. Let's go. Mistake number one is not understanding sales rank. Now, sales rank is simply just a snapshot in time. Whenever you are scanning a product, that is the sales rank for that exact time of the day. What happens on Amazon is that every single minute, the sales rank is constantly changing. It's constantly going up and constantly going down, depending on whether a product is selling or not. So whenever you are scanning a product, sales rank doesn't really matter too much. What is more important is working out how many times that product is selling per month in relation to how many people are actually selling that product. Mistake number two is spending way too much money on software when you are only first getting started. When you start your Amazon journey, you're going to be watching YouTube channels like myself, like this one, and you're going to see that we are using lots of sourcing softwares, analyzing softwares, repricers, and other softwares as well. This is simply because we have got to the point where we have scaled our business, where buying these softwares is simply just a common sense thing to do to help us with our day-to-day business. Now, when you are first starting, most of the time you are going to be on limited capital, and spending all your money on these softwares is only going to take money away from buying actual stock. However, when it does come to sourcing softwares, there is one software that I do recommend all sellers get, and that is a deal analyzer. Now, if you didn't know what a deal analyzer is, it's basically a tool that you can either get as an app on your phone or a Chrome plugin. And what will happen is you can put in the price of your product and then check that against the Amazon actual listing. And what it will actually do is bring up so much more information for you than just the standard Amazon seller app. The deal analyzer that we use on this channel is BuyBot Pro. BuyBot Pro has been around by far the longest, and it is always updating new features. It also has an integrated keeper chart. If you didn't know what that is, it's basically a chart where you can see the history of a product with its sales and its sales rank, so you can check exactly what that sales rank is doing over a long period of time. And it just has so many other features as well. So if you did want to go and check out BuyBot Pro, what I will do is leave a link in the description so you can go and see the product, and I will also leave a link to a video that I made sharing the details about BuyBot Pro and some features. Mistake number three that new Amazon sellers make when buying products to sell on Amazon for a profit is not using cashback sites. Cashback sites are completely free to use, and they are there for you. If you didn't know what a cashback site is, basically what you will do is you will browse to the cashback site before you go and purchase the product from the site that you're going to buy it from. And if you browse to that site through the cashback site and they have some sort of cashback deal, upon purchasing that product on your site, you are going to get free money sent to you into your cashback account. This is completely free money, and not only should you be using it with your Amazon business, you should also be using it just in your day-to-day life as well. Mistake number four is buying products that you are not allowed to sell. Now, there's two different ways where you can buy a product that you're not allowed to sell on Amazon. Number one, you could buy a product that you are restricted in and try to send that product into an FBA fulfillment center, only to quickly realize that Amazon will then put your listing into stranded because you are no longer permitted to sell that item. The other way is a product that is IP claimed by a company. This is where a company or a brand is selling their products on Amazon and they do not want anyone else to sell that product. This one is actually a little bit harder to find out. With the restricted products, you should be able to scan that product and Amazon will provide you with a pop-up saying this product is restricted. However, with IP claims, it's a little bit more difficult. This is because this is completely controlled by the brand and owner themselves, and Amazon do not have a feature to pop up and tell you that this product is IP claimed. However, there are a few ways in which you can give yourself the best opportunity of finding out. The first thing that I would do is, let's say you're selling a brush and it was from Apple. If you go onto the listing and Apple was the only seller of that product, there is a high chance that this product would be IP claimed because Apple is not letting anyone else sell that product, and anyone that has jumped on that listing, they have probably been kicked off immediately. Now, I'm not saying that Apple is a legit example, and I'm not saying you can't sell Apple products, but this is just for an example of this video. The other way you can actually do it is by using BuyBot Pro because they actually have an IP radar. Now, BuyBot Pro has been around a really long time, And what they do is they ask all of their customers if they get an IP claim to send that brand into BuyBot Pro using their email support system, and then BuyBot Pro's team will check it out, and if it comes back that that product is an IP claim product, they will then add it to their list of over 3,000 products that is classed as IP claim products. And what you will then see on your BuyBot Pro feature is some kind of like traffic light system letting you know whether that product is a go or whether that product is a no-go. Mistake number 5 is getting way too excited and buying too much quantity of one product. When you are first starting out on Amazon, you are going to make lots of mistakes. There are going to be times where you buy a certain range of products and they are not going to sell, or maybe they're going to sell at a loss. The first thing that you don't want to be doing is buying way too much of one product in case you land yourselves in this situation. What I much more recommend for new sellers is buying wide and low, so more different products and lower quantities of each. This is going to give you more consistent sales, and it's also going to limit the risk if one of those products was a mistake. Mistake number 6, and this is one that I see way too often, and that is people quitting their day jobs way too soon to sell on Amazon full time. This takes time, guys. You do not want to be quitting and relieving yourselves of a free income that is coming in every single month to risk it all to sell on Amazon unless you are prepared. It took me 3 years of working an Amazon business alongside my full-time job to even get into the situation that I am today, but I see so many people quitting their jobs way too soon. What happens is they then need to rely on their Amazon business as an income, but they also need to spend money on Amazon to grow their business in the future. What normally happens is people's income needs normally takes precedence over the Amazon business, and their Amazon bank account starts to get drained, leaving them no money to actually spend on products, eventually not making any money on Amazon, eventually having to go and get another job. Mistake number 7 that I see new sellers making all the time, and that is spending way too much time trying to get ungated in products that they are restricted in. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, you can be restricted in products, but there is a way around this, and this is what is classed as ungating. This is where you can go and provide invoices to a company, or maybe even sometimes you actually automatically get ungated when you've been selling long enough. But one thing that I see a lot of new sellers do is spending way too much time trying to get ungated in products when they could just be going out and searching for the products that they are not gated in and actually just starting to learn the ropes that way. For me personally, when I first started out, I spent all of my time in charity shops looking for used books, because used books is something that everyone can sell. I knew that down the line, once I was going to sell enough products, I was going to start getting automatically ungated in products, and then just from time to time I would try and pop the odd invoice in for a toy or maybe a brand and something like that. But really, most of my time was spent on learning the business model and trying to buy and sell products that I knew that I could sell in the first place. And I knew that with patience, because this game is all about patience, along the road things were going to start getting ungated and things were going to get a lot easier. And that's what happened. Mistake number 8, and a common gripe for all Amazon sellers, is people undercutting the listing. Now, what beginners don't kind of understand when they start selling on Amazon, they look at it as a little bit like eBay. With eBay, you have lots of different listings and normally the lowest price wins. But with Amazon, you just have one listing. And then what happens from there is you are all given what is classed as the buy box. And if you didn't know what the buy box is, it's basically the add to cart button on your Amazon shopping screen. Basically what happens is Amazon will share that buy box across all the different sellers that meet the correct criteria. Most of the time, but not all of the time, the criteria that you will need to get the buy box is number 1, you will need to be an FBA seller. Now, not all the time this is the case, but most of the time I would say it is. This is because Amazon can offer the prime shipping, and one other thing is that Amazon actually make a lot more money from FBA sellers through the referral fees. The other way that you can earn the buy box is being competitively priced. This is where a lot of new sellers kind of get themselves confused. When they hear competitively priced, they think they need to be the lowest. What actually needs to happen is that, let's say, for example, we were all selling a product. We had 8 sellers on a listing and we all were selling the product at £10. there's 8 of us and we're all selling via FBA, what would happen, or what should happen, is Amazon will share that buy box evenly between those 8 sellers. Now, one thing that could happen is one of those 8 sellers could get completely fed up and decide to drop their price by £1. Of course, what is going to happen, that seller is going to get the buy box simply because they are going to be the lowest and most competitive price. One thing that will happen from there, and one thing that the seller that dropped their price probably forgot about, is that the other 7 sellers are likely to drop their price by £1 because they want to get a share of the buy box as well. And what you will find is that all of those 8 sellers now find themselves in the same position that they were in before, but they're selling their product for £1 cheaper and not making as much money. This will just completely repeat itself most of the time until the point where the product gets to either break even or maybe even at a loss, where the sellers are just wanting to get rid of the product. This is not the correct way of pricing your products on Amazon. The correct way is understanding that the listing is going to be shared through other sellers and being able to match those lower prices, but not beating them. Mistake number 9 that new Amazon sellers make is mixing their personal bank accounts with their Amazon account. Now, this is such a big mistake and can be an absolute nightmare for accountants down the road. What I recommend doing is signing up for a free business bank account. What I will do is leave a link down below to some free ones that I've personally used in the past that are super easy to set up, and it'll only take you 2 to 3 days before you're up and fully running, and just keeping everything separate. You don't need to go and get an account straight away, although I do advise it. But one thing this will do down the road is make life so much more easier for your accountant. Mistake number 10 is not scanning enough products at the start. One thing that a lot of new sellers do is they get excited, they maybe watch a few YouTube videos of people going out and finding products and expect themselves to go out and do exactly the same. One thing that they do forget is that a lot of the time on YouTube videos, you are only seeing the highlights of the good products that people are finding. Of course, what they don't see is the hundreds and sometimes even thousands of products that they are scanning before they find those gems. One thing I recommend doing for all new sellers is simply just going out and scanning every product that you find on a shelf. Go to a Home Bargains, go to a B&M, go to a discount store, and just scan everything. This way you're going to gain experience and you're probably going to find a few nice products along the way. Mistake number 11, and last but not least, but one of the most important ones as well, and that is new sellers comparing themselves to experienced sellers in the Facebook community, Instagram community, and on YouTube. Guys, this is a journey that is for you and for you only. It is completely based on your situation, so please do not ever look at other people's sales on Facebook, maybe people's lifestyles on Instagram. People love to post the highlights of their life. Do not get carried away by comparing yourselves and getting yourselves overwhelmed. This is your journey. Everybody starts at chapter 1. Do not compare yourself to someone else's chapter 20, and just focus on your own results and your own wins. This is so important, and I cannot really explain how important this is. I'm somebody that when I started my Amazon business, all I ever did was compared myself to other people, and it doesn't lead you down a good road, trust me. So there you go, guys. There are 11 common mistakes that new sellers make when it comes to selling on Amazon, whether it's retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or wholesale. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did get some value from this video, please leave it a like down below and subscribe to the new channel. This is only the second video on the Amazon Reseller Network channel. We are going to be posting videos every single week on this channel, and it is going to be very much driven by your guys' choices in our Facebook group. So one other thing as well, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, there will be a link to that in the description below. Other than that, I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you in the next one.